Ming Fei is a stupid, disgusting, useless, and lonely high school student who wasn't loved even by his own parents. One day, he received an admission letter from Cassel College, a foreign private university, but he didn't know they were dragon-obsessed cult fanatics. In a strange dream, Ming Fei fell into a puzzling world where he met two brothers. The older one warned him about people being untrustworthy, while the younger one talked about taking over the world. Ming Fei was curious about what it all meant as he felt lost like Zoro in another anime, especially since his fate seemed connected to the younger brother named Constantine. He traveled through a weird tunnel and ended up in a ruined place where time didn't seem to pass. He saw that Constantine was killed, and then he woke up from his weird nightmare. Not his life though, the one he was having in his sleep. Later on, while playing a video game, he met a girl named Wen. Ming Fei planned to help her, but before he could equip his +5 armor of chivalry, another mysterious girl threw him off with her predictions. In another place, some dudes talked about Ming Fei's future, wondering if he was the right fit for something called the Cassel Academy. They weren't sure about him, but recognized his unique abilities. Ming Fei got an unexpected invitation to the academy, surprising his family. At the interview, Ming Fei met Wen again among other candidates. The questions got really weird, asking about aliens and superpowers. Ming Fei got deep and philosophical. He pulled a full-on Goku and decided to instant transmission out of there.
Nice.
His family was shocked but proud when he got accepted to the academy. Professor Gu from the academy assured them about Ming Fei's potential and offered help with scholarships. Ming Fei wondered about his past and what secrets lay ahead at the academy. Things got more intense when Ming Fei learned from his aunt that he was separated from his parents long ago. A letter from his mom, hoping for a reunion and asking for help from the academy, brought up a lot of feelings. Luckily, Nuo, the top student at the academy, was there to offer support during this tough time. When Nuo showed up, people started wondering if Ming Fei wanted to join the academy. Ming Fei got even more confused because he was also dealing with his feelings for Wen, a girl in his class that he'd never get even with cheat codes. Nuo asked Ming Fei some tough questions that made him think hard about what he really wanted, making him feel torn between his dreams and his crush. The next day, while Ming Fei and Wen were planning a party for their literature club that apparently wasn't Doki Doki, they bumped into Nuo again. Nuo claimed to be Ming Fei's sister, which surprised everyone, but her warning about not delaying decisions shook Ming Fei up. He was struggling to figure out his emotions when Nuo pushed him to make up his mind before Professor Gu left. At the party, Ming Fei wanted to tell Wen he liked her, but another classmate beat him to it by confessing his feelings for her. Ming Fei was crushed, and Nuo swooped in, challenging him to think about his future more than his love life. Nuo took charge, getting Ming Fei to leave the party abruptly, leaving their friends puzzled. Ming Fei felt torn between sticking with his friends and chasing his dreams, but ultimately decided to go with Nuo, showing he was serious about joining Cassel Academy. On their way, Ming Fei and Nuo had a heart-to-heart talk, and Nuo supported him in figuring out his next steps. Ming Fei contacted Professor Gu to confirm his choice and started the enrollment process with Nuo's help.
My time has come.
Ming Fei started a new chapter at Cassel Academy. A helicopter's arrival signaled Nuo's enigmatic message to a scattered group, including Ming Fei, welcoming him back. As he started at Cassel Academy, Ming Fei went all Dora the Explorer to reach the hidden mountain school. While at the airport subway station, Ming Fei met Finger von Frings, a knowledgeable 8th grader who knew the academy's secretive pathways. Ming Fei's doubts faded away as Finger led him, unveiling the academy's hidden existence. Ming Fei's daydream was interrupted by a strange boy who spoke in puzzling ways. Vegeta would say he's speaking the language of the gods. Confused, Ming Fei got on the CC line train and was greeted warmly by Professor Gu. Ming Fei's introduction to the academy was strange, especially when he had to sign a paper promising not to talk about what happened there. I guess this is a guarantee that a lot will happen there. Professor Gu told Ming Fei about the academy's focus on dragons, sharing a story that mixed myths with real history. Ming Fei found it hard to believe, especially when things started to seem unreal, like some shonen anime which he definitely wasn't in. Suddenly, the boy from Ming Fei's dream appeared again, confirming the academy's spooky secrets. Looking out the train window, Ming Fei saw the mountain where a dragon king named Nidhogg was killed. The boy's story took Ming Fei to a world where ancient events mixed with fantasy, revealing how the Dragon King's death changed everything. Captivated by the story, Ming Fei faced the eerie truth about Cassel Academy, a place where dragons were important and secrets were hidden deep. As the train moved closer to their destination, Ming Fei wondered what his role would be in this strange world. Ming Fei's journey took an unexpected twist when Professor Gu revealed solid proof of dragon's existence, a scale and a sleeping dragon. At first, Ming Fei doubted it, but when the dragon moved, he realized he really was in Hogwarts from Wish. As Ming Fei tried to understand what this meant, Professor Gu offered guidance and encouraged him to explore the academy. Ming Fei learned about the academy's secret mission to defeat the Dragon King in Xingguo, but peace was shattered by gunfire. Literally, it immediately turned into a battle royal on sight. Ming Fei and Professor Gu were targeted by 𝐒𝐔𝐁𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐿𝐏𝐍, the mysterious student council president. In the chaos, Professor Gu was hurt, leaving Ming Fei to face the challenges alone. Ming Fei went Superman and confronted 𝐒𝐒𝐁𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐏𝐍, facing the conflict within the academy head-on. Loyalties were tested, and secrets threatened to surface as Ming Fei struggled with his choices. Ming Fei found himself in an intense battle, showcasing his impressive combat skills, but his focus was shaken when 𝐿𝐿 suddenly popped out with a gun. Of course, bro was a simp. The situation took a tragic turn when 𝐿𝐿 fell victim to an ambush, leaving Ming Fei reeling from the loss. In the face of 𝐿𝐿's death,
oh my god!
Ming Fei went Ultra Instinct, taking down his attackers with precise and deadly moves. With a single shot, he neutralized 𝐒𝐒𝐁𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐏𝐍 and his group, ending the conflict that had consumed the academy. As everywhere got calm, nurses arrived to tend to the wounded, bringing order back to the chaos. Professor Gu explained that the whole ordeal was a simulation, reassuring Ming Fei that nobody was actually hurt. In the aftermath, Professor Yin appeared, expressing concern about the students' lack of focus on their studies. Ming Fei jokingly called him Bald Professor, but Gu clarified the seriousness of the situation. While 𝐒𝐒𝐁𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐏𝐍 and Ziheng tried to assert control by explaining the academy's rules, Ming Fei remained skeptical. Despite their attempts to justify the chaos as accidents, Ming Fei questioned the true nature of the academy's order and control. In a strange chat with Professor Yin, Ming Fei tried to cheer him up, but things took a twist when the principal wanted to talk to Ming Fei himself. Ming Fei was surprised that the principal knew him and had a short chat with him, where the principal praised him for standing up to 𝐒𝐒𝐁𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐏𝐍 and Ziheng. Meanwhile, the principal talked with a guy named C about Freedom Day tensions and the need to control them. They remembered a loss from 8 years back and talked about 𝐒𝐒𝐁𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐏𝐍's and Ziheng's skills, but they doubted Ming Fei's abilities. Back at the academy, Ming Fei settled into his dorm with his roommate, Finger.
Why are you gay?
As they explored the academy, Finger explained the different places, like the Lei-In Pavilion and the clock tower where Professor Yin lived. Finger explained to Ming Fei that if they passed through the library's first floor, they would reach the teaching area using the spirit of speech. He mentioned that it was the only place in the academy not controlled by the rules where students could freely use their speech spirits. He went on to describe how the spirit of speech came from the connection between dragons and their bloodline. Usually it was expressed through singing dragon texts or body language. As they walked, they saw many students using their speech spirits. Suddenly, they came across a student struggling to control a water whale created by their speech spirit like soccer, trying to water bend. Another student arrived and froze the whale, breaking it into pieces. Ming Fei noticed his reflection in one of the broken pieces. In these fragments, he saw moments from his life when everything around him was dark. As he tried to touch one, they all came together, gradually illuminating. From these fragments, a tree formed, half withered and half in bloom, like Two-Face from Batman. This sight left Ming Fei pondering the meaning behind the symbolism. Professor Gu gave Ming Fei a credential and informed him about the upcoming 3E exam on the language of thieves. He tested Ming Fei's lineage using a music box, reciting a story that Ming Fei didn't understand. But instead of feeling enlightened, Ming Fei just felt like he had been hit with Jigglypuff's lullaby. Finger, present during this, documented the event's significance for the academy. Ming Fei expressed reluctance to return and worried about the exam, indirectly telling Finger she was unsure about going back. Finger suggested cheating, God bless his cultured soul, but Ming Fei wondered how they could manage that. Meanwhile, 𝐒𝐒𝐁𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐏𝐍 was giving a talk when 𝐿𝐿 told him that Ming Fei did not react to the spiritual words of the emperor. This news also reached Ziheng. Later on, Professor Gu contacted Professor Man Yi for an urgent meeting in the library to discuss something important about Ming Fei. In the library, Gu and Man Yi talked about manuscripts from the Sea of Ice, telling the story of the Black Emperor and the White Monarch, like some weird version of chess. Gu explained that the Black Emperor used celestial copper to record the rebels' fate on the Sea of Ice scrolls. Man Yi questioned if the White Emperor's spirit was truly destroyed and suggested that Ming Fei might be unique, as he showed no reaction to the Emperor's words. Man Yi agreed to keep the information confidential until after the 3E exam, promising to ensure Ming Fei was treated well if the higher-ups found out. That night, a mysterious figure met Norma secretly, asking him to ensure Ming Fei passed the 3E exam. Norma agreed. The next day, Ming Fei arrived on time for the exam. The teacher explained the rules and started the exam, which everyone realized was blank. Ming Fei remembered Finger's advice and revealed a symbol on his left arm, causing everyone else in the room to go crazy except for a girl with amaryllis hair. After finishing the exam, Ming Fei hallucinated, meeting the boy from his dream, Lu Mingze. Lu Mingze told him that this was his spiritual vision, revealing the deepest parts of his heart, including his deepest desires or saddest memories. Ming Fei asked who Lu Mingze was, and he touched Ming Fei's chest, saying he should find the answer within himself. Bro really thought he was Master Oogway. Nuo Nuo woke Ming Fei, praising him for being brave enough to fall asleep during the exam and telling him it was over. She thought he might have done well. Back in his dormitory, Finger congratulated Ming Fei on passing the exam, which Nuo Nuo had posted on the Academy's network. Meanwhile, divers investigating underwater ruins encountered an earthquake but survived. They reported to their boss, believing they had found the palace of the Emperor of Fire and Bronze. The head of an operation talked with the director about the recent exploration by 𝐒𝐔𝐁𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐏𝐍𝐿 and 𝐒𝐿 hoping to get permission to use a special key. The director allowed this, and then the head informed a woman with a baby that he was authorized to use the key, took the baby, and prepared to assist 𝐒𝐔𝐁𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐏𝐍𝐿. When he arrived at the exploration site, he met 𝐒𝐔𝐁𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐏𝐍𝐿 and instructed them to prepare for the key's usage, which involved a ritual linked to the curse of the Fire Eater, the Firebender's #1 predator. He opened a capsule containing the baby, used it to activate a statue, which revealed an entrance. He gave 𝐒𝐔𝐁𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈����𝐍𝐿 a device, advising them to either retrieve the dragon remains within 2 hours or destroy them. Inside, 𝐒𝐔𝐁𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐏𝐍𝐿 found a large copper pillar. 𝐒𝐒𝐿 asked if it was a sacrificial site, but 𝐒𝐔𝐁 explained it was beyond human understanding. 𝐒𝐔𝐁 left to search for a snake, while 𝐒𝐿 examined the surroundings, recognizing dragon language. Feeling dizzy, she almost fainted, but was caught by 𝐒𝐔𝐁, who reassured her. 𝐒𝐿 touched a statue, triggering a hallucination where a strange figure grabbed her. She called for 𝐒𝐔𝐁, who told her it was just HD virtual reality, and explained they had found bone remains through the snake. Suddenly, an earthquake began, causing the walls to shift. They decided to escape quickly. Meanwhile, Ming Fei was awakened by bells. Mingze told him it was the death knell and questioned the reality of their experiences. Ming Fei, frightened, asked what Mingze wanted. Mingze cryptically mentioned that someone was about to die and asked Ming Fei if he remembered the code of games. Ming Fei said yes and asked Mingze which option to choose. Mingze suggested Black Sheep Wall and warned him to use it carefully. Ming Fei woke up to Finger asking him to hurry because an alarm was ringing. They met Nuo Nuo, who explained that the alarm was calling students of rank A and above. Since Finger was rank F, he would be like Yamcha fighting in the Tournament of Power, so he instantly transmissioned his way out. Students of rank A and above gathered in the library, where a masked person explained the situation with 𝐒𝐔𝐁𝐒𝐑𝐈𝐏𝐍𝐿 and that they must solve the city's mechanism within 20 minutes. Ming Fei used his credential to access Norma. He saw everyone trying hard to decipher the city's mechanism.
Stop it. Get some help.
Remembering his encounter with Mingze, Ming Fei used the words Black Sheep Wall on Norma, causing a blackout. When the lights came back on, Norma showed the escape route. Everyone was amazed that Ming Fei succeeded. Meanwhile, 𝐒𝐔𝐁𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐏𝐍𝐿 continued battling in the water. 𝐒𝐒𝐁𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐏𝐍𝐿 navigated through a city full of debris, with 𝐒𝐒𝐁 using the baby's help to guide them. 𝐒𝐒𝐁 decided to disconnect from the snake, and they got ready to leave. 𝐒𝐒𝐁 told 𝐒𝐿 to prepare, but she was worried about the oxygen levels. Just as she was about to tell him her feelings, 𝐒𝐒𝐁 surprised her with a kiss, promising to protect her. The operation chief realized they wouldn't be able to escape because of his mistake. Way to ruin the romance had so much potential to not end up like the Titanic. Ming Fei told Tang what was happening, and Tang advised him to leave. The operation chief was losing hope when 𝐒𝐿 appeared with the dragon remains, but suddenly she was pulled underwater, leaving the chief upset. Seeing movement in the water, the operation chief told everyone to arm themselves for revenge against the dragon. They threw bombs from the ship, but bomb jutsu of that level couldn't work on Dragon-kun, as the dragon wasn't hurt. The head of the operation assured Surma they would get a high score, but she was killed by the dragon. Now the dragon focused on the ship, ready to set off the remaining bombs. Realizing they were close to the dam, the operation chief ordered the ship to go full speed ahead. The ship tried to escape, but the dragon chased them until they reached the dam. They used a key to open the dam gate. Inside, the head of the operation suggested detonating the remaining bomb to blow up the dragon's mouth and then decapitate it with the gate. But the dragon's tooth pierced the head of the operation, killing him. Back in the library, Director Anju told everyone that the ship was safe and thanked Ming Fei for contributing the most. Everyone applauded Ming Fei. Outside the library, 𝐒𝐔𝐁 invited Ming Fei to join his club, and Caesar would probably do the same. 𝐒𝐔𝐁 was happy to have Ming Fei as either an opponent or a friend. Then the bell rang, and 𝐒𝐔𝐁 told Ming Fei that the academy was mourning. On the ship, the head of the operation told the director not to tell the students what happened during the operation. He believed he had killed one of the Dragon King's minions, but then died. Ming Fei and Finger went to an event hosted by Caesar, with Nuono joining them and warning them to hurry, so they didn't ruin their rented clothes that they couldn't afford because they had the net worth of Vegeta without Bulma. Inside the fancy mansion, guests in nice clothes chatted, while a butler signaled the start of the dance to welcome Caesar and Nuono. Ming Fei danced with Finger, which is the saddest thing I've seen all day. During the event, Caesar talked with Nuono about inviting Ming Fei to his club, stressing the need for secrecy. Caesar interrupted the dance to give a pep talk, telling everyone to aim high and be ready for anything, getting cheers from the crowd. Then, Caesar invited Ming Fei to join him, offering him a choice. With Finger's support, Ming Fei agreed and danced with Zero, who helped him get better at dancing, not the disaster class he put up earlier. Their performance got applause, and Zero left, leaving Ming Fei outside where he met Nuono. Nuono told Ming Fei to drive to the mountain summit. Suddenly, the academy was attacked by a group of motorcyclists. The teachers gathered to talk about it, realizing it was linked to the bone jar. Norma informed the teachers that he had assigned Cess's club to protect the spirit room and 𝐒𝐔𝐁's club to guard the library. All the students prepared with weapons and tranquilizer bullets to defend the academy. On the mountain, Ming Fei noticed that Nuono had fallen asleep while driving, so he briefly looked away to check on her and saw Mingze in her place. Mingze asked Ming Fei if he wanted help in controlling Nuono, but Ming Fei told Mingze to go away and bring Nuono back. He actually rejected that Riz magic. Mingze reminded him of the love advice Nuono gave him, and then touched his head, unlocking a new ability called Show Me the Flowers. Nuono reappeared next to Ming Fei, having reached the mountain's top. Nuono told Ming Fei to walk with her for a while. Meanwhile, back at the academy, the students had captured 7 of the intruders. Teacher Manny mentioned that 6 intruders were still hiding somewhere, and he asked Norma to do his best to find them. Meanwhile, a person dressed as a cowboy answered a call from Director Anju. Anju informed him that they found the bones of the Dragon King Norton and asked him to lift the commandments. The cowboy guy asked if Anju was serious, and Anju confirmed, wanting the students to gain experience. The cowboy guy said he would consider it. He then received a call from Manny, his son, and without much conversation, Manny knew his father would lift the commandment. The cowboy guy proceeded to lift the commandment. Ming Fei and Nuono sat by a pond and talked. Nuono invited Ming Fei to join her. They discussed the game lobby returns of Yisheng, Yijai and Mance, who was Nuono's tutor and the head of the operation. Thinking about Mance's sacrifice, Ming Fei asked Nuono if she was scared. She said she would likely make the same choice to avoid announcing his death. Back at the academy, Norma told everyone that the Watchman had deactivated the commandments. Manny summoned the Snake of the True Void to find the intruders in the academy. Meanwhile, one intruder called his captain and was told to go to the cellar using a black card. In the cellar with Caesar's group, they met 𝐒𝐔𝐁's group, and Norma told them to leave the library. While the intruders talked about their invisibility, one of them saw someone smiling at him. At that moment, they were discovered. The captain ordered her team to disperse and take defensive positions, but Caesar and the intruders' captain urged everyone to hold off. The captain angrily answered a call and told the caller not to bother her before hanging up. She then talked to Caesar, saying she was actually a nice person. Caesar asked for her name, and she introduced herself as Mai Sakatoku. She warned Caesar that when the music stopped, the fight would begin. When the music ended, the shooting started, and Caesar and Mai stood up. Caesar noticed that the enemy was using tranquilizer bullets and asked Norma to set a 5-second timer. When the timer reached 0, Mai activated her domain. Meanwhile, 𝐒𝐔𝐁 heard a knock on the door and invited the person in. A girl entered, claiming to be his opponent. 𝐒𝐔𝐁 activated his domain, King's Flames, burning everything around him. However, the girl also activated her domain, which was also King's Flames. At the same time, the intruder who entered the cellar reached the basement where Norma appeared. The intruder was surprised and asked who Norma was. Norma introduced himself as 𝐒𝐲 and warned the intruder to leave. The intruder asked 𝐒𝐲 for directions to the 𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐏 district. 𝐒𝐲 gave him directions, and the intruder thanked him before leaving. As he was about to receive further instructions on a call, he fell into the water and lost his phone. 𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐏𝐍 eagerly asked Ming Fei to join the student club, assuring him that 𝐒𝐔𝐁𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐏𝐍 considered him a brother and they'd look out for him. Ming Fei hesitated, mentioning that 𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐏𝐍 hadn't rescued him at the dance. She explained that 𝐒𝐔𝐁𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈���� had stopped her from doing so. She confessed she had been waiting for a special gift, flowers, for years. When Ming Fei quietly asked for flowers, fireworks suddenly lit up the sky, and they enjoyed the show together. Touched by the gesture, 𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐏𝐍 exclaimed, "Happy birthday," even though it wasn't her birthday, showing her happiness. Meanwhile, an intruder got pulled by water currents and encountered a shark but escaped.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Using a hook. The intruder continued exploring, looking for the Walter Alheim Institute, while the director, trapped in the bone jar, reflected on capturing the Dragon King Norton, considering it a big achievement, despite their inability to investigate further. Everyone started clapping, and the director began speaking. From a distance, the intruder watched as the director asked Norma about the MRI results, showing that there were 2 cavities in the jar, but one was empty. A scientist suggested dissecting it soon, but the director said they lacked the tools to cut the recycled metal. The director threatened the scientists to leave. The intruder saw this as an opportunity to steal the flask, but when they tried to take a picture, they started hallucinating, scaring them off. They decided it was better to escape. Meanwhile, an unknown person arrived to open the flask and pour their blood to welcome Constantine. Mai was fighting 𝐒𝐔𝐻, who blocked all her attacks, noting she was using ninja techniques. 𝐒𝐔𝐻 told her they should end it quickly, challenging her to try to kill him with 3 blades. Mai assured him not to fear because men like him had mercy. She attacked, but 𝐒𝐔𝐻 blocked her first 2 blades. He then focused on anticipating her 3rd attack, surprising her by blocking it. Mai pointed a gun at him, trying to catch him off guard, but an explosion interrupted them. 𝐒𝐔𝐻 declared they were even and Mai agreed it was a draw. They noticed a trail of fire, and Mai remarked how the wall burned instantly, suggesting it had to be as hot as the sun. 𝐒𝐔𝐻 realized the person came from the laboratory, but it was odd not to hear their heartbeat. At that moment, 𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐏𝐍 found it strange that the car was repaired without explanation and told Ming Fei to return to the academy. As they returned to the academy, 𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐏𝐍 got a troubling message about an attack. Despite Ming Fei's concerns, she assured him, saying the academy was experienced in fighting dragons and would handle it. She thought the battle would be over by the time they arrived. When they got back, Zihang was in a fierce fight with a girl with yellow hair. They seemed evenly matched. Meanwhile, an intruder who stole the flask was chased by students. Ming Fei, channeling his inner detective Conan, caught the culprit, none other than Tang. After a quick talk, Tang admitted he was on a mission. Ming Fei agreed to go with him, and they got in Tang's car. But they were surprised by the intense heat and saw a mysterious girl in the rearview mirror, saying strange things. Ming Fei sped away, leaving the girl behind. The teachers saw the girl as a dragon and ordered real bullets to be shot. The academy tried to defend itself, but they couldn't stop the dragon's attack. The dragon caused a huge explosion with the king's flames. Zihang heard the explosion and learned about the dragon's actions. Meanwhile, the yellow-haired girl left suddenly without explaining their plan. Elsewhere, Nia talked with her partner, updating them on the crisis and sending evidence. 𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐏𝐍, Ming Fei and Tang hid while discussing the unstable power of a partner who could collapse at any moment, causing a destructive storm. Tang wondered if the dragon could detect him, but 𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐏𝐍 explained dragons had sharp senses, finding it odd that they hadn't been found. Suddenly, Finger appeared, scolding Ming Fei for leaving him. They realized the dragon was heading their way. Finger suggested going to a place with water, so 𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐏𝐍 suggested the pool. They met Nia and 𝐒𝐔𝐻, and then Ming Fei. Finger and Tang headed to the pool, while 𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐏𝐍 stayed with 𝐒𝐔𝐻 to talk. 𝐒𝐔𝐻 asked 𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐏𝐍 to protect Ming Fei. She wondered if the dragon was after Ming Fei, but 𝐒𝐔𝐻 wasn't sure. 𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐏𝐍 left to find Ming Fei. Meanwhile, Nia got a call from her partner, who advised using anesthesia bullets against the dragon, as metal couldn't harm it. However, the liquid evaporated, but kinetic damage might work. 𝐒𝐻𝐻 and Nia started shooting anesthesia bullets, stopping the dragon. The teachers saw this and ordered more anesthesia bullets. Meanwhile, Tang sensed the dragon approaching, so Finger suggested diving. They dove, but Ming Fei struggled to hold his breath and surfaced, realizing everything looked red. He tried to reach the shore but found he wasn't in the pool. Thinking it was a hallucination from 𝐿, he searched for him but found himself with the strange, ominous kid. The kid, actually the dragon, came closer to Ming Fei, using his nose like a bloodhound sniffing out a hidden stash of Pocky. Ming Fei realized how important scent was to the dragon's perception. He also figured out they were in the Bronze City and saw through the child's disguise. Suddenly, Mingzi appeared, kicking the dragon away and interrupting the moment. Feeling confused, Ming Fei went back to the pool area but couldn't find Finger and Tang. Then the director showed up, telling Ming Fei to follow him to a tall tower. At the tower, the director explained that the academy was trying to contain the dragon. He gave Ming Fei a rifle with a special bullet to kill it. It was time for COD sniping. Ming Fei asked why he was chosen, and the director said he was immune to the dragon's control. As the dragon changed fully, the director pulled a Dio Brando and slowed down time. Ming Fei shot accurately, hitting the dragon. Afterward, the director ordered the use of real bullets. Tang tried to escape but got caught by the dragon. The students shot at him, and he was sent back to the game lobby. Meanwhile, Tang ran through the forest and saw visions of the dragon talking to someone mysterious. Overcome by pain, Tang fell but rose with fiery wings, like the person in his visions. The director conversed with Manny's father, revealing his regrets about not killing the dragon Norton when he had the chance, foreseeing Norton's brother's revenge on humanity. He explained that despite his long life granted by dragon blood, he felt lonely and wished to end the dragon war, entrusting the task to the next generation, including Ming Fei. Manny's father acknowledged the director's sentiments, stating that a leader capable of protecting the world had yet to emerge. The director expressed his belief in Ming Fei's potential, hoping he would be the one to end the conflict by defeating all 4 Dragon Kings. He revealed that, to kill a Dragon King, it must be done just before they created the bone jar during the resurrection ceremony. When asked why he spared Norton, the director explained he needed Norton's bones for a particular purpose, even if it meant pushing Norton to his limits. The next day, Ming Fei planned to join the student club. Finger revealed she was also part of the club. Suddenly, a man with white hair arrived, giving Ming Fei his student club card and informing him of a meeting at the Amber Pavilion. Meanwhile, Caesar and the director discussed Ming Fei's performance, with the director instructing Caesar to gather the best members of his club for an expedition, reminding him not to forget Ming Fei. Caesar shared news of an expedition to Xin with Ming Fei, urging him to prepare. Ming Fei, feeling as unsure as an isekai protagonist in a new world, hesitated. But Finger, ever the motivator, encouraged him to maintain his S-rank status by accepting the mission, just like the other heroes had. Zero, with the nonchalance of a seasoned shonen warrior, joined the expedition without hesitation, prompting Ming Fei to question his motives. Zero reassured him, emphasizing their duty to protect humanity, sounding like a true knight of justice. Ming Fei, feeling like the odd one out in an anime ensemble cast, admitted he was only in it for the scholarship. Caesar, disappointed, suggested Ming Fei leave the academy for lacking commitment. Nuono defended Ming Fei, reminding him of her support. Ming Fei worried about becoming a burden but agreed to train for the expedition. Reflecting on his concerns about Nuono's relationship with Caesar, Ming Fei confided in Finger. Ming Fei questioned Finger's persistence despite repeated failures, but Finger attributed it to their bond and the food at the academy. Frustrated, Ming Fei expressed fear for his life on missions. Finger slapped him, urging him to confront his fear of death. Ming Fei accepted and offered Finger his credit card in case he didn't return. It was most probably empty anyway. Despite Ming Fei's somber mood, Finger remained optimistic, emphasizing the importance of luck over material possessions. Ming Fei questioned if Finger was encouraging him, to which Finger replied they supported each other for the upcoming bronze operation. Professor Man Yi informed Ming Fei that they were now considered trusted interim commissioners aboard the ship because of their exceptional skills. Professor Man Yi explained that the ship had been upgraded to combat creatures and acknowledged Caesar's inquiry about the possibility of encountering a dragon. Man Yi speculated that they might encounter the Guardian of the Bronze City, explaining the mission involved using a special bomb to destroy it. Ming Fei and Nuonuo descended towards the Bronze City and encountered a statue. Professor Man Yi instructed Ming Fei to pour blood from the key. Nuonuo encouraged Ming Fei to do it, but the statue bit him, frightening Ming Fei. Nuonuo then healed Ming Fei's wounds, and the door to the Bronze City opened, causing them to fall inside. Nuonuo woke up in a cave where she found Ming Fei. Nuonuo decided to open her helmet to conserve oxygen, and Ming Fei followed suit. Nuonuo found it strange that there hadn't been an exchange of gases, but Norma suggested that it could be because the Dragon Master Norton had returned. Nuonuo and Ming Fei went into the cave, peeking at various statues like they were navigating a boss dungeon. Nuonuo asked where they should place the bomb, suggesting the Dragon King's room as the safest option. Man Yi instructed Ming Fei to use the die he brought to guide them to the Dragon King's room, making him feel like he was on an epic fetch quest. Following the ink trail, they quickly reached the tree where Yishang and Yijia were. Despite the eerie sight, they kept going. unfazed, eventually coming across a massive statue. Ming Fei suggested leaving the bomb there, but 𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐿 instructed him to remove his oxygen mask and turn around. As Ming Fei complied, 𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐿 kicked him, indicating they were close to the Dragon King's room. Ming Fei noticed burn marks on the corpses nearby, looking like a level from Dark Souls. 𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐿 asked for Ming Fei's hand and used his blood to open the door. Suddenly, a water tornado cut the wires, prompting 𝐒𝐔𝐁𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐿 and Man Yi to use their powers to stabilize the situation. Ming Fei and 𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐿 found themselves in what appeared to be a small forest and stumbled upon a house. Inside, 𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐿 investigated and had a vision, urging Ming Fei to sit at the table. 𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐿 recreated the scene he witnessed, revealing a conversation between Norton and Constantine. A sudden noise startled Ming Fei. 𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐿, exhausted from the experience, recounted what he saw, indicating they were in the Dragon King's bedroom. They left the bomb with 45 minutes to escape and rushed out. Returning to the cemetery, they couldn't find the rope, and debris began falling from the Bronze City. Realizing the imminent collapse, they recalled Yan Sheng and Yan Ji's escape route, diving underwater and finding another statue similar to the one at the entrance. Back on the ship, 15 minutes had passed since they lost communication. 𝐒𝐿 suggested waiting, but 𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐿 and Ming Fei escaped, hoping for a miracle to find their way back. Ming Fei managed to signal Finger, asking him to hurry. Manny started feeling a powerful headache as a strong signal approached. Ming Fei urgently told Finger to hurry like they were late for the theme song sequence. However, Finger explained that because of his lower rank, it was harder for him to act quickly. He hacked into the system, promoting himself to rank S because modern problems require modern solutions, and told Ava he trusted her. Finger then guided Ming Fei, followed by 𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐿 as they swam at top speed. Meanwhile, the crew received information that the water temperature was rising like a hot spring episode gone wrong. Manny, unable to control the situation due to his headache, handed command over to 𝐒𝐿. 𝐒𝐿 quickly directed the crew, but their ship was attacked by the Dragon King, destroying the torpedo cabin. 𝐒𝐿 ordered an escape, starting a chase. Zero realized that their pursuers weren't the Dragon King, pointing out Norton in the distance. Norton jumped into the ocean, causing the dragon approached Norton, thanking him before merging with him, causing a massive explosion that would make Michael Bay proud. 𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐿 and Ming Fei continued their escape. Finger directed them to the exit but warned them to hurry. They stumbled upon Yisheng's body, finding a valuable object on him. 𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐿 carried the object as they fled, reaching the exit gate. Ming Fei tried to use his dried blood to open the door, but it didn't work. 𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐿 struggled with a falling object, prompting Ming Fei to use his teeth to cut his finger. He succeeded, using his blood to open the door. Meanwhile, 𝐒𝐿 decided to return to the Bronze City's location, but they were pursued by Norton. 𝐒𝐿 woke Ming Fei, telling him his suit was damaged and he needed to share oxygen with 𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐿. He gave his suit to 𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐿 to withstand the pressure. Back on the ship, they released a diving bell, though it slowed them down. Ziheng arrived offering to help hunt the Dragon King. Ming Fei quickly put on 𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐿's suit and followed her signal to the escape point. However, they were suddenly caught in an explosion, and poison gas filled the air faster than a villain's monologue. Ming Fei worried about 𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐿's safety. Back on the ship, things were looking grimmer than a Berserk episode. Another engine was damaged, and 𝐒𝐿, with the confidence of Kamina from Gurren Lagann, ordered a warhead with a super cavitation generator to be launched at the Dragon King. This generator helped the warhead travel through water at the speed of an airplane. Zero suggested piercing the Dragon King instead of causing an explosion, but the officer warned that the Dragon King moved swiftly like a fish, making it difficult to hit. Zero believed that a distance of about 100 meters might be enough to hit the Dragon King. 𝐒𝐿 went outside to initiate the plan, but the Dragon King, sensing danger like a Saiyan on the lookout for Dragon Balls, stopped dead in its tracks. 𝐒𝐿 speculated that the Dragon King sensed the danger. He covered his eyes and started shooting at Norton with his dominance to provoke him and prevent him from escaping. At that crucial moment, Zero reported that he'd reached the torpedo room, which was hotter than the flames of Charizard, posing a risk of explosion. Despite the danger, Zero decided to proceed. Meanwhile, the officer confirmed to 𝐒𝐿 that all preparations were complete. 𝐒𝐿 commanded the ship to accelerate at maximum speed towards Norton. Just as Norton was preparing to dive, Ziheng arrived to divert his attention. Using his King Flames, Ziheng attacked Norton, who retaliated with a similar fiery assault, resulting in a powerful explosion. The blast left everyone temporarily blinded, except for 𝐒𝐿, who had shielded his eyes like he was blocking one of Goku's solar flares. Seizing the opportunity, 𝐒𝐿 ordered the torpedoes to be launched. Despite facing an explosion himself, Zero managed to launch the torpedoes, one of which struck Norton in the stomach, sending him hurtling through the air. Ziheng, noticing the lack of vital signs, decided to leave the area as the helicopter had sustained significant damage. Shortly after, Zero and Caesar arrived. Zero inquired about Zi-Heng's condition, and Zi-Heng reassured him, expressing the need for a surgical procedure. Zero silently gestured about Zi-Heng's ears, to which Caesar responded with a gesture, apologizing for not heeding his advice. Meanwhile, Nuo and Ming Fei spotted the diving bell. Nuo opened it to allow Ming Fei inside, but they were ambushed by the Dragon King. Nuo got stabbed in the attack but managed to close the diving bell in time. Ming Fei, overwhelmed with shock and fear, pleaded desperately for Nuo's survival, overcome with tears. Ming Fei found himself on a raft, where Mingze confronted him, warning that there was no use shouting and revealing Ming Fei's imminent demise. Ming Fei decided to rest, claiming he needed energy for tasks ahead. Mingze dismissed this, emphasizing their dire situation. Meanwhile, Nuo was gravely injured, having lost 90% of her blood. Trapped in a submarine facing the Dragon King, they were basically sitting ducks, except that ducks don't submerge themselves or get attacked by dragons underwater. Mingze questioned Ming Fei about his dreams, but Ming Fei dismissed the notion, feeling that it wasn't relevant given their predicament. Despite Ming Fei's initial reluctance, Mingze engaged him in a conversation about life's purpose and loneliness, highlighting Ming Fei's transformation since meeting Nuo. Mingze proposed a deal that could help him defeat the Dragon King, but in return, Ming Fei must grant him 4 wishes. Ming Fei agreed, and they made a pact with Mingze, granting him infinite mana. Mingze also revealed another ability he possessed, the power to prevent death, which meant he could bring Nuo back to life. After making the pact, Mingze sent Ming Fei back to the diving bell. Ming Fei, now empowered, revived Nuo and attacked the Dragon King, breaking its tail. Ming Fei complained to Mingze that the abilities he received weren't suited for attack, but Mingze explained that the box Ming Fei had contained powerful weapons known as the 7 Deadly Sins, which he could use against the Dragon King. No, Meliodas, this isn't your anime. Mingze advised Ming Fei to use the sin of anger against Norton, but when Ming Fei opened the box, the sin didn't appear. Mingze assured him that he could still make it work. Ming Fei then used the sin of gluttony from the box, hitting Norton and activating the weapon. He grabbed another weapon and managed to cut Norton's mouth. Mingze noted that Ming Fei was struggling with grip underwater. As a final gift, Mingze wished him luck. Ming Fei attacked Norton, hitting him in the head and targeting various parts of his body, but Norton fought back, throwing Ming Fei away. Ming Fei and Norton engaged in a fierce battle, matching each other blow for blow like a Ghost Vegeta showdown.
I wanna be a Super Saiyan! I wanna!
Ming Fei tapped into Caesar's ability to locate Norton, focusing on finding his position. With heightened speed, Ming Fei managed to get ahead of Norton, only to realize it was Tang in disguise. Tang restrained Ming Fei, leaving him unable to deliver the final blow. Mingze intervened, compelling Ming Fei to take action and make Norton see his game over screen. Tearfully, Ming Fei apologized to Tang, expressing his reluctance to harm him. Meanwhile, on the surface, a girl spotted Norton attempting to escape. She seized the opportunity to deliver the decisive blow, confirming Ming Fei's survival and Norton's demise. Ming Fei confronted the headmaster about why the truth about dragons was kept hidden. The headmaster explained it was to preserve people's beliefs. Ming Fei then read a letter from his mother, expressing regret for not having much time for him, but promising to make time when he turned 22. Touched, Ming Fei teared up because he was now a little less abandoned. Before leaving, the headmaster reminded Ming Fei to keep the operation details confidential. Later, Ming Fei discussed with Finger, upset about an article featuring him compared to Caesar's more attention-grabbing one. A knock interrupted them, and Ming Fei was surprised to find Caesar at the door, having overheard their conversation, making him leave. Ming Fei and Finger wondered what Caesar was doing there when he should be cooking with Zi-Heng. Well, there was nothing left to cook because Ming Fei really cooked. Then, Nuo arrived to express gratitude to Ming Fei for saving her life. She invited him to join them for pizza, but Ming Fei declined, explaining he had to finish rehearsals first. Shortly after, someone delivered a package to Ming Fei. Inside, he found a phone and a message from Mingze, instructing him to use the phone for communication and warning him that as a consequence of their recent events, Mingze would take a quarter of Ming Fei's life. Ming Fei resolved to rely less on Mingze in the future. Thanks for tuning in to this recap of Ming Fei's journey in the academy and his epic showdown with the Dragon King. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more updates on Ming Fei's adventures and other exciting stories. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.